Sammy, you are live. Say.
Okay, guys. Now I just want to find out because we're replacing all of our equipment. Do you hear me? Am I good?
Everybody drop it in the chat if we are live and you can hear us, please.
Dan says, yo, Sammy. Paulo says the boss is back. Sammy, salute.
Salute.
Instagram's excited to see you. TikTok's excited to see you. We got people from Russia. How cool is that?
From Russia. Now, you guys who are on there from Russia, if me and you could stop the war in Ukraine, I think everybody would be jealous about it. Trump will be saying, Sammy the Bull and whatever his name is, stop the war in Ukraine.
Staten Island here. Shout out from Texas.
Yay.
A lot of Staten Islanders
Everybody can
here.
hear. I'm so happy.
Woohoo! Canada.
Yeah, like I said, we're changing all our equipment, getting better cameras, better sound equipment, better everything. We had one mishap after the other, and part of it is not even our fault. Part of it is the website? Not the website.
Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
Wi-Fi, when it's too windy, I don't know what happens.
It just buffers and freezes and...
It buffers and freezes. I mean, it's putting words in my mouth.
Why don't we jump into some questions?
Yeah, I got a couple of questions from last week from Our Thing. You ready to get some of those, Sammy?
Let's go.
All right, so Kenneth Spomberg, Sammy, if you had found out that Donnie Brasco was an undercover Fed in the Gambino family while you were under boss, what would you have done with him?
That's a tough question. I mean, I think I don't know how much damage he did, how long he was there. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, the possibility of him getting killed would come into play. It depends on what he knew, but I'm sure whatever he knew was being taped, and so I don't know. It's a tough question to answer.
Okay, the second part of that question was, he says, since he's a cop, Cosa Nostra wouldn't have allowed him to be killed, right? Or yes?
Yeah. Listen, we don't go out of our way to kill cops or feds or anything like that. But it could happen under certain, like if you're doing a hit and the cop gets in the way, you're going to kill him. There's no question about it. But to go ask permission to kill a cop, they didn't like that. They didn't want to do that. It's not a good thing. But it could happen. Depends on the situation. Every situation is different.
Okay. Kenneth had actually a follow-up question. Sammy, was the mob happy when JFK was killed, or were they more focused on Bobby Kennedy since he was the one going after the mob?
It depends on who you spoke to. A lot of people said they killed the wrong Kennedy, meaning they liked John Kennedy and they didn't like Bobby Kennedy, that's for sure. But there's an old Sicilian, saying that you kill the head of the fish and the body dies. So maybe they were thinking that, but I don't think it had too much on the Mafia of what they felt. I think it came more from the CIA and the Vice President, Lyndon Johnson, back then. He died for a bunch of different reasons.
Okay, Tony Lee from Our Thing says, Sammy, can you explain the long list of alleys? There's Alley Boy Persico. You used to run in trunk with someone you called Alley Boy. It seems like every time I turn around, there's another Alley Boy someone is talking about.
Yeah, it's a common nickname. Alley Boy that I would talk about was by Gumbada Alley Boy Como, his name was. There was Alley Boy Persico. His uncle's name was Alley Boy Persico. So he was named after him. Italians have a thing naming after each other. You went into somebody's house for Christmas and Joe Boy, there must have been 6 Joe Boys sitting at the table. You didn't know who the fuck they were talking about. So.
Okay, let's hit some super chats. We have Sean Mark. Sean Mark says, Dear Sammy, if we are made men and don't know it, and in a conversation we mention it, can we be in trouble because, hey, we didn't know each other, we were made?
Well, you're not supposed to be telling people that you're made, so that could be a little bit of a problem. I don't think it's the end of the world, but you're not even supposed to say that there's a mafia, or especially that you're a made guy. There's ways to meet each other. A made guy introduces 2 made guys that he knows they don't know each other. He puts them together and he introduces them as being a friend of ours, a made guy. So there's a way to do that, but you don't do that on your own.
Okay, we have G. Junior Martinez also in the super chat. Sammy, are you allowed to come back to New York or the Mafia?
I think I would be allowed to come back to the Mafia. I mean, it's dangerous, but I think I would be able to. I think I have a lot of friends in the Mafia. A lot of people know what happened now. They're not blaming me, but it's not a good place for me, that's for sure. But I'm not allowed because the government will not allow me to go back. It's not like I never tried. I wanted to. I have friends and family there. So I would consider it, you know, but not on a steady diet, not on a steady basis. You're supposed to get killed when you cooperate. So that's part of the life. Now, for me to do, I cooperated. So for me to do it, I'm pushing it. And I don't think, I think it's a dumb move. It would be a dumb move on my part.
All right, guys, I'm going to be pulling some questions from TikTok and Instagram. So let's see. Is it true that you can't be made if you're half Italian?
No, that's not true. At the beginning, you had to be Italian on both ends, but years later, there were so many people into marriages that you were allowed to be made as long as your father was Italian. If your father wasn't Italian, you couldn't get made.
Is the mob anything like it used to be?
No. No, without a doubt, no.
Holy smokes, we got about 70 different people putting in their questions all at once. Let's see.
So we're live right now on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
That's right.
So we got a whole bunch of
In the Paul Castellano hit, why didn't you choose to do it in public?
Why didn't I? I did choose to do it in public.
I think this commenter got it mixed up. Is your family from Italy?
Yes, both my mother and father from Sicily.
We have Instagram. Did you ever watch anything about the commission on the new document series?
I don't think I saw that series.
We have to go check it out soon.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out, and I'll have opinions on it, I'm sure.
Did you deal with the Colombians?
You know, some guys did. I didn't deal with them myself, but some guys did. Some guys, I wasn't in the drug business, so I really didn't. But mostly all the Colombians were like the cartels. They were all in the drug business.
If you were in Benjamin Lefty Ruggiero's shoes, could you tell that Donnie Brasco was undercover?
No, I don't think I could tell he was undercover, but here's the difference. You know, I wouldn't meet a guy in a bar who showed me jewelry. I wouldn't even bother talking to him. I wouldn't take him in. There's things I want to know. If I take a guy in the Mafia, I want to know things about him. Who's his mother? Who's his father? Who's his wife? Who's his kids? Who does he know? Who's his friends? What schools did he go to? This guy didn't have answers to any of these things, but nobody asked him those questions. It was a serious mistake, and they all paid the piper for it.
Why were you not made by Carlo Gambino, but by Paul?
Well, Carlo Gambino died, and when Paul took over, the books opened up after Paul. The books were closed. The books opened up after Paul was divorced, and I got made not in the first batch in 1975, but in the second batch in 1976.
How is Karen doing? I'm so sad that Mob Wives is over.
Yeah, Karen's doing well. She's in New Jersey, and she's doing well. She has, she's an esthetician. She has a big place that she opened up, the Body Depot, and she's doing well with it. She had just started it not too long ago. I
Yeah.
talked to her this morning, and she's doing well.
Does the Irish mob have the same structure as the Italian mob?
No. I'm not exactly sure what their structure is, the Irish guys. They're tough guys, there's no doubt about it. There was tough Irish guys in the mob. They couldn't get made, but there was Irish guys in the mob. I don't know their particular structure.
Sammy, is it true that in Italy there is Maradona and then comes God?
There's what?
Something called the Maradona, and then comes God.
Maradona?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's God. The Maradona, I'm not sure what that means, is Madonna is maybe the mother, the Madonna. I'm not sure what that means.
Mr. Gravano, are you and Michael Francesi at least cordial between each other now?
Yes, we are. We get along pretty good.
Did you ever deal with the Chicago? Ever?
No, not really.
See what some more of our Instagram folks have to say. Thank you for the signed book you sent me for my birthday.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
I have a comment.
Sammy, do you ever do a live chat one-on-one with fans?
I do.
We have that on our Thing website.
We sure do. Our Thing, personalized video messages. We also have the $400 sit down where you can get on Zoom with Sammy. So you guys get on the Our Thing store and start hitting that stuff. We have a message from Cajun Queen. She wants to know, Sammy, could you please wish my son Corey a very happy birthday? He's awesome.
Happy birthday, Corey. How old is he?
She didn't say. Tell us, Cajun Queen. Okay. Sean Mark is in the super chat and wants to know, Dear Sammy, if Donnie Brasco was made to do a hit early, he could have been stopped. It should be a rule, do a hit or help on a hit before being made.
Well, that's exactly what, the rule is. Basically, most guys, you got to make your bones, they call it. You have to do something. But that's why when they came time, they were going to make him, the government, they were going to put him on a hit. And he went to the government, obviously, and they pulled him away. You can't do a hit. And that's how they found out he was an agent.
Danny Murphy in the super chat. Hi, Danny. He's out in the UK. How's it going, boss? Just checking in to say hello. Have been working away for a while, but it is good to be back.
Thank you, Danny.
See, I see you guys are dropping these super chats. Thank you. We have Steve Jackson says, why was Crazy Joe Gallo called Crazy? Did he ever seem unstable when you were around him? And did mobsters use that name, or is it a Hollywood thing?
No, that was his name. He did crazy shit. I didn't know him personally, so I didn't call him Crazy Joe Gallo. That was just, he did a lot of crazy shit, so that's why they called him Crazy Joe Gallo.
Ryan Brown. Hey, Ryan. Sammy, can I get a belated happy birthday? It was this past Saturday, 42 years old. I share a birthday, I think he means to say I share a birthday with Chin. Hope you like the book I sent.
Happy birthday. And that's a hell of a guy to share a birthday with, Chin. But I like Chin. I mean, I really did. I liked him. He was a real tough guy. He was a no-nonsense guy. I liked him.
Gas can lip. Sammy, when you go to heaven long from now, are you going to find Anthony Casso to rough him up in the clouds?
Anthony who? Casso? Yeah,
This is Gas Can Lip. Gas Can Lip is the same one that asked about the horoscopes and astrology.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna send Gas Pipe to hell where he belongs.
okay, Sean Mark again in the super chat. Joey Merlino says, "Once a made man, always a made man." I agree. You're the real deal. Respect.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to turn.
And
it
he
back.
is right in a sense. I think maybe this is what he meant. When you become a made guy, there's one way in, you take the blood oath, and there's one way out when you die. Now, you may be retired, you can't quit the mob, you can't walk away from the mob, all those things, and people say those things. You could, but they normally would kill you for that because you hold their secrets, and they don't want you out there with their secrets. So, usually when you're out, you're dead. Those are nice glasses. Whoever put them on my eyes.
Sammy's receiving lots and lots of TikTok gifts. Sammy, I believe your favorite one is the cowboy hat. Let's get a couple TikTokers to send
cowboy
it.
hat and the mustache. Where's my mustache?
Come on, guys, let's see it. Let's start with Instagram. Has the man, Sammy, been to Canada?
Yes, I've been to Canada. Yes, I got the hat and the mustache. I've been to Canada a few times years ago when I was a lot younger. It was nice. It was a pretty nice place to visit. I, never stayed there. Just a vacation or two when I was a lot younger, before I was made.
From Instagram, I got a photo signed from you. Can I send a gift back? Of course you can. Just make sure you email us at support@sammythebull.com. Couple more questions. Do you need anyone to make you eggplant parmesan?
That's a dry sport.
No, that's my son's specialty. He makes that. He makes it really, really good. A lot of you guys, I've been breaking his chops to do a podcast when him cooking and giving his recipes away, and I think he's a tight ass. He don't want to give up his recipes. Most of those recipes were my mother's recipes and his grandfather on the other side of the marriage, my ex-wife's father. So he took their recipes and he had made his own stuff. He's a good cook. So I eat his parmesan.
We have a very generous super chat from that guy that never gives up. Amina, Sammy, you both are wonderful. Love yous. Thank you, that guy that never gives up. Don't forget our Sterling. Sterling is amazing. She does everything here.
And she's a cutie pie.
She sure is.
Oh, thank you. You guys are too sweet.
Switcher in the super chat. Big love, Sammy. Knowing what you know now, knowing what you know now, going back, what would you do different? Wishing you great health. Alfie from the UK.
What would I do different? I mean, there's a lot of things I would probably do different, but the life was the life. I lived by the rule, and so I mean, there's a lot of things I did I didn't like, I didn't enjoy, but I did them. It's like being a soldier. I'm sure soldiers do a lot of things that they don't like, but they're a soldier and they do what they got to do. So some things I would do differently, I think. I often think about it myself, so I'm not 100% sure.
We have Mr. Dela Cruz. Hello there, Mr. Sammy the Bull. If you could have a second chance at this thing called life, what would you do differently? Thanks, OG.
I've done a lot of things differently. I left the life. I didn't like the way I left the life, but I left the life. I got betrayed, I betrayed John, and I left the life. Most of you guys understand that story. It's out there everywhere now. Everybody knew it. So, and then later on in life, I've always believed in God. Later on in life, I became a born-again Christian. I'm going down to see them next month, and I'm going to supposedly give a speech to 30-something thousand Christians with the pastor. And so I do a lot of things differently. And very, very shortly, it was on my bucket list to drive a race car. And I got my wish. I got people together. I was down there with a car. I think you guys saw it. But I'm going now for training lessons, how to drive the car this month. And I think the end of this month or the beginning of next month, I'm going to be in my first actual, what is it, NSA?
No, ARCA?
Arca.
ARCA race. And so I'm going to actually race. I've looked at the car, I've helped develop the car. I bought my uniform, my helmet, the shoes, the gloves, the fireproofing stuff, and I'm going to race, finally. So that's another thing that I'm about to do. You'll see that coming out. And I'm also talking to somebody. I made friends with a woman who's a clothing designer, and I started the conversation. She makes custom-made clothes. So I'm going to have, slacks and a sport jacket, a suit made. I used to have custom-made shirts. I'm going to have custom-made shirts. And I got into a conversation. She's a very good person, very smart. And I'm talking to her now about opening up a clothing line. I've been talking to her for a good couple of weeks. I brought her in. She's starting to work for me. Megan is her name. And we're working on a clothing line. So I'm doing a lot of interesting things that are going to come out in the very near future. I'm starting it off with getting a tracksuit made, and I want to see how it works. I'm designing it with her and how it fits, how it looks. I'll probably start off with that, selling that, and we're talking about a whole line of clothing. Very interesting. I've always thought about doing it. It's a gangster clothing line. And I'm also, because of my daughter, and she did Mob Wives and stuff like that, we're probably going to do women's clothes as well. Now, this girl I'm talking about, Megan, she's an esthetician like my daughter. She's a makeup artist. She does cologne. She does a whole bunch of things. So soon I'm going to be doing a lot of things and with her. And I got high hopes with her. And you'll meet her soon in some of the events and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things I'm working on, things I'm doing. I keep pushing my scripted show and movie. We're going forward, more and more. And like I said, next month I'm going down to California for probably all of those things. I'm meeting with different people, and they want me down there. They want to hear more stories. They want to talk about some of the contracts, some of the things I'm doing. So I'll be in California for about a week. And I've made a lot of friends out there. That's how I became a born-again Christian. They brought me to the church, and I went back and forth with them. So when I go, I want to meet them all again. I want to go to church with them. I told you I'm actually meeting with the pastor. And I got a full plate. What do you think of me racing? Just starting racing at 80 years old. People are telling me, are you nuts? Have you lost your mind? But, I drive fast in a car. I drove getaway cars.
Oh, God.
I think I can do this. So,
It's beyond fast. Yeah, don't get in a car with Sammy. Can we get back into super chats?
yes.
And then they'll tell me in the chat what their thoughts are of you driving. So Donnie, give Donnie a shout out. He gave you I think it's his first time giving a super chat.
Hey, Donnie. Thank you so much.
Let's see. We have, I think it's Timofey, because it's spelled with an F. Hey, Sammy, how did it feel when you were made? I wish you the best.
In my life at that time, I was young. I looked up to these guys. They were legends. I knew many, many of them. And to become one of them was just an amazing event. I never thought I would become one, let alone elevating into it. It was a high. It was definitely a high in my life. I didn't realize everything that was going to happen, but it does.
So, let's see. Your mom? This is in the super chat. Their tag name is Your Mom.
I was going to say, my mom didn't
like,
say that. I was going to start, Mom, I'm sorry for everything I did.
It says, what's your thoughts on Frankie Yale and Balsamo?
Frankie Yale was an old-timer, real tough guy, legend. He actually came from Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. I think Frankie Yale is the guy who chased Al Capone out of New York and made him go to Chicago. He's the guy who made the decision to chase him. I think he was very close to Frankie Yale.
Let me see. Okay, we have Mets fan Sammy. Was Carmine Agnello a made man?
That was John Gotti's son-in-law. John Gotti eventually made him. He was more of a legitimate guy. I don't know why he made him, but he made him. I knew him briefly. I didn't know him well. He wasn't part of the life, but I guess when John wanted him made, he was the boss, he made him.
I'm sorry. I'm reading through the chats while Sammy's talking. Specimen Andy says, Sammy, you've got to make panties for the ladies.
Panties for the ladies? All right, I'll talk to...
Talk to Megan about that.
I'll talk to Megan with that. We need to make women's panties. And should we get the ones that you could just tear off? They just break apart?
Sammy! Oh my God, that went over my head. What the heck?
But I don't know what kind of panties you want.
Switcher says, was Johnny Keys the hardest hit mentally?
It ended up being that way. It was. I told the story. I wound up having a tremendous respect for him. When I went to Paul Castellano, I told him I fell in love with the guy, and I really did. I mean, it was the toughest hit, one of the toughest hits I've ever done. The guy was just amazing. When you see the movie about him, and it's going to come out, it's amazing. I'll tell you a little something about that. When I first started talking to Nick Pileggi, you know him, he's one of the greatest writers for mob movies and stuff like that. And he's the writer on it. But I got into a phone call with him and he told me, he said, Sammy, I heard the story about Johnny Keys. I had company in the house. When they left, I made a cup of coffee, I sat down, and I had to listen to the whole thing again. 2 weeks later, I had to listen to it again. And I said, this has to be a mob movie. There's never been a mob movie like this, a mob story like this. And he says, I have to do it, Sammy. And that's when I first had the relationship with Nick Pileggi, and I gave it to him. He's going to be the writer. He's a great writer, smart guy. So it was a tough hit to do. They called it the Mission Impossible. I got it done. And it's going to be a great movie, I think. And I hope that when any kind of, most of his family I think are dead, but any member of his family that's alive, I'm trying to give him a legacy like what he really was as a man's man. And I hope they enjoy the movie and understand that it's his legacy. He would want this, and I'm giving it to him 100%. He deserves everything I say about him, and I say nothing but great things about him. So I can't wait for the movie to be made and come out. It'll make me relive this whole thing over and over again.
G. Sperry says, "Hey Sammy, hope all is well. Could you describe your relationship with Alley Boy Persico?"
Alley Boy Persico Jr., Carmine Persico's son, if that's who you're talking about, I had no real relationship with him. I knew Alley Boy Persico Sr. I had a very good relationship with him. Carmine Persico, his father, Alley Boy's father, was my boss. I was with him when he was a captain before he became the boss of the family. But I was older than his son and never had any kind of real kind of relationship with him.
Gilbert Goobies Castro wants to know, what is the best salami?
The best salami? Genoese, or whatever they call it. Sausage, salami.
It's Italian, right?
Yeah, it's Italian salami.
Okay, and Cajun Queen said her son Corey, who you just wished a happy birthday, is 35.
Happy birthday, Corey. 35.
Okay.
I wish I was 35 again.
Oh, Amina.
Yes, ma'am.
We have some folks on Instagram wondering how they can get a cameo from Sammy.
How can you guys get a cameo from Sammy? Go to Cameo, sign up, send in.
Check the link in the bio,
guys. Definitely. We offer Cameo has been fire for you. Let me just say.
Yeah.
Sterling puts her little special touches on there, and
everybody's
special
been effects.
Absolutely, everybody's been
Mob
raving.
music. Here.
I don't know
guys.
how many cameos we did, but I know that we got the statistics. Every one of them gave it a 5-star. So everybody enjoyed the cameo. If you want a cameo, we put a lot of effort into it. I do, so does Sterling. Amina watches.
It's very personal, and if you're looking for a gift that is very unique for a birthday, a celebration, an anniversary, or to roast your next door neighbor, Sammy can do that for you. You just want to check out Cameo, Sammy the Bull, and we usually give everything the day that you order, if not the next day. So we're very quick, but we really personalize it. We put names, we put messages, and we even put music from Goodfellas and The Godfather.
Yeah, they worked out very, very well. And I get people who did a cameo and gave it, another family member saw it from the person who was supposed to get it, and they did a cameo too. So it's been very well received by everybody.
I'm sorry. Gas Can Lip is in the super chat again.
What does he want?
Such a menace to society.
Gas Can, you are definitely a menace. He goes, Sammy, I know you will not, but would you like to whack John Travolta for playing John Gotti in that low-budget movie?
Yeah, he was the worst guy they could have picked to play that part. I mean, and half the movie was bullshit besides. So I like a movie that has some truth to it, and they had him coming out of the shadows shooting the guy. That never happened. But that's John Gotti Jr. making up stories, sitting with Travolta, and they made a mess of it. And John Travolta should play some sort of a gay part or something. He shouldn't play John Gotti.
Okay, Jay Marie's in the super chat. Hey, Jay Marie. Say hi to Jay Marie.
Hey, Jay Marie.
Okay, he said, Sammy, tell us about how you met Terry Winters. How was that first conversation with him?
The first conversation was great. I mean, the guy is just an absolute great guy, gentleman. He's brilliant. And look at all the things that he's done. And I had a meeting with him in a restaurant, and that's where we connected. And he told me, he says, Sammy, I want to do this show. He says, you'll work it out with Aaron Kaplan, who's brilliant. I mean, this guy he's the head producer with me, and he's brilliant. So he talked to Terry, and he's on board. I met his wife. We all went to dinner for Nick Pileggi's birthday. I met his wife. His wife is just she's a producer. She's a very smart woman. And I think I'll be working with her on the history of the Mafia and a few other people that I'm working on. So Terry was a great guy, and his wife is a beautiful, lovely woman, inside and out. And I can't wait to do the history of the Mafia with them. He's been a blessing.
I am going to turn the mic over to Sterling so she can get some questions off of TikTok so I can get back in the chat with you guys.
On TikTok, it says 99 plus messages.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot to go through. But we'll start with our first one. Sammy, if you could make your own crew/family, who is your top 6 mobsters that you could pick of all time? So who would be your first one?
Of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time, my top mobsters. Wow, that's a hell of a question. In my crew, I mean, it would be an outrageous picks, but I would have Frankie the Chico. I would have my man Sammy. I would have some heavyweights if you wanted to include. I would have Tato with me again. Tato's son, Charlie Boy. The old man, Joe Peruta. And who else? Maybe
Would you have Capone?
Capone?
It doesn't have to be during your time. It could be of all time.
Fuck Capone.
Oh no!
I would have Chin Gigante as part of those 6. But those are the people I think were good guys, strong guys, tough guys. And so that I just gave you 6.
Great pick. Everybody's laughing. Even Bugsy Siegel's in the chat. Bugsy, I thought you passed away years ago. What you doing here, buddy? Oh, man. How about Sammy? Who were the shooters on the Castellano hit?
The shooters are the guys with the guns.
Beatrice would like to know who was the weirdest mobster.
The weirdest mobster. Weirdest mobster. Maybe Jelly Belly, that was Louis DeBono, was an asshole. But I mean, there's quite a few. You know, there's a list. Not every mobster was, a good guy, talented guy, whatever. And
Sammy, do you have a middle name?
a middle name? None yet.
Sammy, didn't you have your 80th birthday this month?
I did. But we don't, when a woman is fat, we don't talk about her weight. And when a guy is over fucking 80 years old, we don't talk about his age. But yes, I just had my 80th birthday.
How do you feel about The Sopranos as a show?
The Sopranos, I loved it. I liked the way it was done. It was done brilliantly. It was based on a true story. Not really. It was fake. Mostly fake. But I think they did a great, great job. Matter of fact, that was Terry Winter as the writer. And they really did a great job. I enjoyed watching it. And that's what it's about. It's not only, it's based on a true story, but there's the way it's done was very, very good. And I enjoyed every second of it.
Let me ask something real quick.
Of course. Turning it back to Amina.
Kenneth wants to know, Sammy, who do you think killed Bobby Kennedy and MLK?
MLK, I have no idea. I mean, there's a lot of stories going around. Bobby Kennedy, I really don't know that this guy, he was some sort of an Arab or something, Sahan. I don't know. Now they're saying that they don't think it was him, but I think it was him. There was a lot of proof that it was him. I think he died in prison or he got out. I don't know what happened to him, but he was just about ready to run for the presidency, and somebody come up and shot him in the back of the head. I think it was Sirhan.
You pronounced that pretty good, Sammy.
Yeah. I used to be an Arab at one time.
I'm going to get that for you.
Give me a turban.
Just Sammy like that.
It's gonna be like that scene from Harry Potter. He takes it off and then
Where's Sammy's face?
Oh, you got a lot of love from Instagram. Everyone's saying love you, love your book, The Underboss. People are asking, when is your movie gonna come out? I know we can't disclose the actual date, but could we give a hint?
I would say, with a little luck, anywhere between 8 months to a year. It's a lot of work involved. We're going forward with this FX put together a great team. Here's what Disney did. I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying it, but fuck it, I'm going to say it. They got 2 people, 2 good at their best out of Hulu, 2 from FX itself, and 1 directly from Disney, right from the bosses. So they got a team of about 5 or 6 people, which is a great team. They're very creative, they're very smart, men and women. And I have a team, which is, my team, Nick Pileggi, JJ Sachs, Terry Winter, and a director, Anton Fugler. And he did all the Denzel Washington movies. He was the director. And Anton, if you're listening to this, bro, I told you I want to talk and meet with Denzel. I love Denzel. I want him to be in the movie with us. I love him. If I hear his name in a movie or I see his name on the movie, I don't care what it is. I watch it. I mean, and Anton directed 99% of his movies, and we have him on our thing. So we got a tremendous team. Disney and FX put together a tremendous team, and I can't wait to get started myself. But it's going to take a little while. We're really close to getting to the stage. We're going to put out a list with people, actors, actresses, sound people, all that stuff, and contract signing and stuff. We're really close. We're getting close to that. So when that comes out, we'll start talking about what actors and actresses are involved. And I told them for sure, if they pick Danny DeVito to play me, I'm coming down with a gun. There's going to be problems. Don't be fucking with, I like Danny DeVito, but I don't want him to play me. So we'll see. Maybe my son.
Good things take time, everyone. I know Sammy's movie is definitely going to knock out Snow White.
What
All
happened?
right. We got a couple more questions. Oh, here's a good one. Actually, a concern. Sammy, I miss your podcast. I love the way that you tell a story, and it feels like I'm there standing next to you when you tell them.
Well, if you like the way the podcast will be done, when I work on the history of the Mafia, it's with the same people. James Carroll is coming back in, and like I told you, I'm going to have Terry Winter's wife involved, Nick Pileggi, JJ. I mean, we're going to have a crew and a half telling the story, and it's twice as long. That was about 5 seasons, my podcast. The history of the Mafia, we're looking at anywhere 8 to 10 seasons, 8, 9, maybe more episodes per season. So it's going to be great.
That's right. Big things are coming, everyone. And let's see, over on TikTok, can you explain your pinky ring?
My pinky ring? I always wore a pinky ring. When I got busted, they took all my clothes, jewelry, everything. I never got anything back. I had a friend of mine, his wife owns a jewelry store out here, and she made this pinky ring for me. And this watch, it's a Rolex. It's not a real expensive one. The same person who owned that jewelry store, one of the guys who worked there, the jeweler, owned this watch himself. And he had told me, Sammy, I would love to give you this, as a gift, but, I have to charge you. I said, all right, you charge me. How much you want? He wanted $3,000. But I gave him $3,000 right away. It's a Rolex, and I love it. It's a great watch. It's an old watch. It's an old Rolex, but it's great. And that's how I got it. It's a half a gift. I don't think you could buy a Rolex for $3,000. I don't care how old it is.
Instagram is giggling at Danny DeVito. Let's see. Can I get an autographed coffee cup just like yours? I mean, if you head over to the Our Thing shop, we have all sorts of autographed prints and memorabilia.
And like I told you with the clothing that we're working on, when we talked, I talked to her, and she asked me, what do you exactly want to make? I said everything. Everything. Shoes, sneakers, boots, everyday clothes, sport jackets, suits, hats, jeans, socks, underwear, t-shirts, everything I could make in a clothing line, I want to make it. And then on the clothing thing, I know somebody asked me about panties. I'll make sure that we make panties. What color panties do you like, bro? Green panties? No,
good
not
luck.
green. No, black, red, blue. What color you want? Nobody buys white panties no more. My grandmother used to have black bloomers. My grandmother, black bloomers.
TikTok says black.
Not black, white bloomers. Her bloomers were so big, you used to hang them out on the clothing line. And one day, on a windy day, they blew loose and it wrapped around a fucking apartment building. All the windows, nobody could see no more. It took 3 days to get the bloomers off the building.
Your grandma's coming back to haunt you.
Yes, she is.
All right,
Wait,
well,
can I ask really quickly?
yes.
Sean Mark in the super chat wants to know, did you have anything to do with Sonny Liston? Does that name sound familiar?
Yeah, no, Sonny Liston was a great fighter. No, I never had anything to do with him.
Okay.
But he was a great fighter.
Go for it, Sterling.
I was just about to say it is 2 o'clock. Are we at time?
We got 2 more questions.
2 more questions.
We'll do the 2 more questions.
Ooh, how exciting. What do we have?
Wise Guy in the super chat says, Neapolitan pizza or New York City pizza?
I like both, to tell you the truth, but New York pizza, they make great pizza, whether it's Sicilian style, Neapolitan style, they make great pizza. And you know what the key was? I found out because I know when people went to other states and tried to do it, it was the water. The water in New York just made great dough and great pizza. Right, Gerard? Yeah, see, he said yes. If the water had something to do with it. You know how I know there was guys who were made great pizza? They went to Florida and they started making the pizza. It wasn't the same. And they wound up, they were pulling their hair out how to make it. Why? And they sent for water. They got gallons of water, sent them, they made it, the pizza was great. It was the water. It was something to do with the water. You need some dirt in the water, I guess.
Dirt in the...
Well, New York is there. I don't know if it's clean water, but...
All right, very last question. Let's pull from TikTok. Who will be the perfect sidekick for you in your movie? I like Joe Pesci or Robert De Niro.
I would say Joe Pesci, I'll be honest with you. I was a fan of Robert De Niro. He became a woke asshole, and I'm not too happy with him no more. His movie he just came out with, I hear it bombed out. He's playing 2 guys, and I don't think he did it very successfully because you look at one guy and he plays the part pretty good, and you go, the other guy's going to answer, it's him, and it just looks like him. It doesn't look like 2 different guys. Now, who's that guy? Tom Hardy did a movie that he played the 2 parts, the 2 brothers. One was a crazy, a tough guy. The other one had a little more class. And they fought in a picture. You couldn't tell that it was the same guy. I mean, Tom Hardy, I would love Tom Hardy to play me, to be honest with you. I mean, he could play anybody. He could play a woman, and you would believe you're looking at the woman. See, some actors are so good at what they do, they become that person. Now, you know, some big names came out to play me. I don't think it's a good idea. Because a guy with a big name, it's him. Everybody looks at he's not going to be Sammy. Tom Hardy could become me. When you look at Tom Hardy, not that he looks like me, but he's going to become me. You'll believe that's Sammy. He's that good of an actor. He could play your mother, and you would think it's your mother. That's how great of an actor. He melts into the part. So he's a great actor.
He played the Cray twins.
The Cray twins, yes. And if you watch that movie, the Cray twins,
yeah, it's the film
you
is
will
called
not,
Legend.
you will not believe it. If you never saw that movie, see it. The guy is the greatest actor, I think, of all time. So, love the guy. Tom, if you're listening to me, call me the fuck up, bro. I'll get you right in. You'll get the part. I guarantee you.
Everybody agrees with you in the chat. Lots of claps, lots of thumbs up. Yes.
Tell everybody to hit the like, Sammy.
Everybody hit the like, Sammy.
Like, subscribe,
That's what she told me to
follow
say.
us.
I said what she said. Hit the like, Sammy.
All right.
Hey guys, one more thing. I know I was asked a question earlier today. I'm not sure who asked the question. That when I was young, I used to do singing telegrams. And I wore a blue jacket, little blue hat, and I would go to the house and I would do a singing telegram. So one day they called me and they said, here, bring this to Joe Blow's house. I read it, and I went to the guy's house. I knocked on the door. The guy came to the door. He says, oh, singing telegram. I said, yes, but I think I should just tell you it. No, sing it. Martha, get the kids. They all ran down, the kids and Martha, and everybody's looking at me, and he says, come on, sing it. I said, all right. Da-da-da-da-da-da, your sister Rose is dead. Da-da-da-da-da-da. So that's my singing telegram story. All right, guys. Love all you guys. It's time for me to go. Adios. You know, I got in trouble for cursing. They took me off the thing, so I'm not supposed to curse. So, adios, mother.